Hello, guys. It's NautoAce. I want to give my thoughts on the current situation with PlayStation and Sony right now. And I guess I'll have to say what Review Tech USA said. Are we in the age of political issues here? Is this the age of going like you think what's right for the people? You're judging what other people think what's right rather than let them decide for themselves. And I don't want to say the actual word because I don't want to make this political, but it is sound like this particular issue is sound like it's political. I'm sorry to say. And what am I talking about? And that is apparently now I've been looking at Facebook and Twitter about this policy, and apparently a lot of people said now this new policy is also affecting in Japan. No joke. Now apparently Sony PlayStation is asking the Japanese developer in Japan, so that's the keyword there, Japan, to tone down their game, the fan service of the game. In other words, i.e. censorship. So there was a game that came out the 25th October, and the PlayStation 4 was bastardized. Like a lot of people said, it's a Freaky Friday. I don't understand because PlayStation in the past, they were all about, they don't believe in censorship. They always want to put the original to whatever. And Nintendo was the opposite. Now we have this Freaky Friday. And a lot of people said, now Nintendo's like, hey, we're cool with this. We'll put it up. During the Wii U times, yeah, they were like, well, we have the family-friendly image. And look what happened. Your Nintendo fans didn't care. The parent, basically, they're like, well, they're not got a good game. So you're alienating your fans by censoring stuff, i.e. Xenoblade Chronicles X and Fire Emblem Fate. And now 2018, and I'm afraid and frustrated at the same time because I like Sony, like I prefer Sony to all my third-party games, but I think this is gonna be changing, even myself personally. Oh my gosh, yeah! Apparently now they're telling Japanese developers to tone down the fan service to some extent censorship. And you know what I'm afraid? One is then a lot of those Japanese games not going to come out in America. However, like American games in America, it's okay. And apparently Red Dead Redemption 2, because it makes a lot of money, guess what? That's okay. Yet Japanese game is not because it's from Japan. Do we have this double standard or xenophobic issue here? I hope not, Sony. But it's ridiculous. I mean, who's running Sony right now that this is happening? Why all of a sudden they're doing this? What, are there complaints to the parent that, oh, PlayStation's not for kids? It's not for, well, it's not just for kids. It's for everyone who likes video game. And it's just PlayStation. It may be for everyone, but the majority of people who like PlayStation are now in their adults. Believe it or not, young adults in 20s. People who grew up playing the Nintendo, they're moving to PlayStation because they had the games, they had the variety games, and now you're, like I said in my previous video, you're taking away, you're denying freedom. Now you're telling the Sony Japan, telling Japanese developer, which for them, fan service like a norm to some extent, to say no? Seriously? I mean, there have been inkling I've been hearing, like, my gosh, from what I heard, that Sakurai basically, believe it or not, Sakurai mentioned something that was something good with the Wii U version of Smash Bros. Versus the 3DS, or no, Wii U in Japan versus America, excuse me. That in America, they're cool with it. Like, they're cool with anything. In Japan, apparently, they were told, to some extent, turn the character upside down and let's see the skirt if they're wearing a skirt. And Sakurai's like, what? But that's not Sony related, but that's just, I don't know if that's related, but I hope not. And there have been inkling in the past, believe it or not, for this. I mean, I guess they're now enforcing this policy, and that is, Compile Heart, Ideal Factory in Japan, one of my favorite company now. Ever since I started playing the Neptunia game, one of my all-time favorite series. Anyway, I've been talking about it. There was an interview with him and said, what if somebody told you to censor the game? What's your response? And he says, or whoever, Compile Heart, somebody who works there, I forget the president or someone, I do apologize, is if we have to censor a game, we're not going to release the game. So here's a hint. If say Sony said, "Oh, you got to tone down the fan service in Neptunia," they're probably going to say, "You know what? No, we won't. We're just going to go with the Switch and Steam." And for that, and that point on, I'm going to say, "Yeah, I agree. I have a Switch. I mean, I know lack of trophies. I can't record gameplay, but you know what? I'd rather support it with, everything complete, uncensored." Yeah, I mean, hey, guess what? Well, finally decided to buy Rebirth on Steam because it was on sale. They had the new update. You get play the Oracle, different story there. And guess what? I also bought there on Steam now. Thank goodness, because I just bought a new computer for this. Mega Dimension Opportunity V2R. Big different story there, but I was worth they had a sale. It was worth it in my opinion. I played it. Minor hiccups, but that's a different story there. I'm enjoying it. But the point I'm trying to say here is, if this censorship affects Compile Heart, Ideal Factory, then yeah, I'm going to support Steam. I'm going to support Switch. Heck, I'm going to support Xbox. At least Xbox finally getting games. The only reason the lack of games because Xbox is not good in Japan. But if Xbox basically, Phil Spencer said, "Hey, we got no problem with censorship. Hey, make it uncensored all you want. Hey, I'll all for it." I mean, like I said, one of the biggest problem why is it's the stigmata, the problem when a company, let's put in a video game aspect here, like Sony is on top. They're top NEP. They're top game. I know, top NEP. Bottom line is they're in the lead. Nobody can compete them. They did it with a PS2. The only difference is games were uncensored. The only problem they had there was the anti-2D policy rule and the English dub. Those policy, ridiculous it may be how they present it. It made sense. I agree with it. But censorship, no. What's worse than not having English dub in Japanese game in 2018? Censorship in 2018. What the hey, Nintendo? Or not Nintendo, Sony. What the hey, Sony? I don't understand. Now you're doing it in Japan, your own country? Oh my gosh. And this is a point that I wish, and I really wish, and probably people are not going to agree with this, I do wish Ken Kutaragi goes back and runs Sony again. The fighter PlayStation. Because I bet you his motif, his mojo, mofo, whatever you call it, he'll probably say, "Wait, what are you talking about censorship? I don't like that. Like, I don't know who's running PlayStation. Is it Shuhei? I mean, I thought it was Shuhei's running PlayStation, not the big Sony, but I don't understand what's going on with Shuhei. Is Shuhei saying that this policy should be affected? Are the investors are telling them? Are the investors are very political? That's another question. There's a lot of factors of what's going on here. All of a sudden now they have this policy rule. I mean, can they remove it? Can they abolish it? It's a possibility if Sony decide to. They did that with the anti-2D policy rule, and they did that with the English dub rule. The 2D policy rule is that you can't sell a 2D games in a higher price than a regular 3D game. Makes sense, but they finally removed that. They let the developer choose how much it is, the company how much it is. They basically just tell them be mindfulness that he's not going to sell if you put a high price. Makes sense. Same goes with the English dub rule. They did finally remove that. They basically said it would be just nice, but again, you're letting the company decide. And now you're putting censorship, and it is really utterly ridiculous. It's like I said, and the funny part is in Japan, that would like the game I just mentioned that came out October 25th, the Zero or Surrogate, that's their ESRB in Japan, it's D. And from what I heard, D is equivalent to either teen or mature, or no, D is teen and Z is mature. Correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not really sure about it, but from what I read about this one, it was D. It was Zero D, so I think that's equivalent to late teens, I guess I'm going to say that. So again, they gave it approval, they had no problem with the game, and Sony did. Again, like I said before about Santa Kagura renewal in the West. That the ESRB did not have a problem with the game. When the government, that's what the ESRB, the reason why they were created, the government said have some sort of regulation system for video game. They did. The government approved it, and so far it's working. And basically said, the ESRB said, it's okay to be an M-rated game with the intimacy mode. Sony said no. What the heck, Sony? And I said it before and I said it again, what PlayStation UK did, asked PlayStation UK. I mean, he probably bets whoever replied and probably just shut the hell up because you just made the company look bad. And yeah, people are like, oh dear golly joy. Yeah, it's frustrating. I'm worried because if Sony keeps this up, they're not going to have games. The reason why a lot of people love Sony because they have a lot of anime games. You know, I love the anime games. There's a reason why Neptunia for a while was exclusive to the Sony platform because they were lenient. They were popular. They don't believe in censorship, and then all suddenly they're you know, now they're going 180. Like, do they have new investors that said they have to do this? Like, or the parents are complaining that I can't buy any game for my kid because, like, dude, there's a lot of games, the E-rated games. And, you know, oh my goodness. So, again, I don't know. Hopefully, right now, hopefully in 2019, something needs to change for Sony. I'm going to wait and see what's going on right now, but it is kind of worrisome. It's going to be worrisome. I'm worried right now with Super Neptunia RPG. I'm going to say, I'm so worried about that one because there already been they showed some, you know, one of those illustrations they always do because, you know, everybody likes those pretty pictures. Hey, you know, I can't deny that. There's a scene where the four goddesses were in a hot spring. You know, again, I mean, the person, and here's the fun part. I think the person who created Neptunia is a female. Again, I could be wrong. I really need to look it up. But I know the artist is a female, but the creator, I think, is the same person, the artist. But again, I don't know about that one. Correct me again with wrong with that one. I really got to do my research on who the creator is. But right now, I'm just saying that I'm just worried. I'm just really worried and frustrated that if Sony keeps this up, they're going to lose it. This is what happened when Microsoft basically decided to change their business. They lost the Xbox One because they had this stupidity rule that the people didn't like it. They didn't like a lot of the rule. The rule was so stupid to a point that they had to remove it. You know, so in the end, how can people really fix this? Easy, just like what happened with the Xbox One. Besides letting your voice heard, raising awareness, is avoid buying the game for the PlayStation version. If you hear any report that says, oh, there's basically censorship on the PlayStation 4. If you have an Xbox, if you have a Switch, I know Xbox and a Switch, and remember, there's console cycle. There's going to be the next. There's already been confirmed there is going to be a next PlayStation system by the big, not Shuei, but the bigger owned Sony. They said that they are planning to have a new console. Xbox, the next Xbox also have their own console again, and then of course the Switch is going to be there. The bottom line is, take notes, and kind of like what happened to the Xbox One, that they had to change all their policies because they were so dumb. Same thing with here, with the censorship. Don't buy a game if the game is censored, if the game is gutted. Buy it on Steam, because finally Steam are allowed to have adult games there, like literally adult games. And again, the point is they're letting the consumer choose. So if a kid managed to buy an adult game, that's a problem there. I'm going to tell them much. And to the parent, I mean, come on, you know, like, it's up to you. I'm not going to go there, but you get the idea. And maybe the Switch. Maybe finally, Switch goes on top again with all this uncensored stuff. I mean, granted, no achievement, but no trophies. Again, I love those. I'm a fan. I know I'm an idiot for liking those, but the bottom line is, at this point on, I can live without it. I'll start buying my games again on the Switch, my third-party games. Because, you know, this is freaking utterly ridiculous. Seriously, Sony. You know, like I said, grow up, change this damn policy rule. It would be in your best it's in your best interest to reverse this position, this policy, give developer, even Japanese developer, freedom, and like you're finally agreeing with crossplay. Like again, are your investors are so pissed that they're not making enough money? Is that what it is? I mean, oh my gosh. Just because you're top dog doesn't mean you be arrogant and think you're better than everyone else. Because you're not. Nintendo did that with the Wii. And look what happened. Look what happened with the Wii U. They messed up. Now they're humbling. They're reevaluating what they're doing. So do you want to throw that away? You want to throw away your chance to be a top because of the censorship? I don't get it. It's really ridiculous. What's next? Galgun 3 if the developer decides to create it? Oh, you know what? Guess what? We can't put that on the PS3 anymore, or PS4 anymore. Well, I guess I'll buy it on Steam for whatever. Heck, I'll buy it on Switch. At least it has touch screen. Just saying there. Psh, psh. Yeah, so, hopefully Sony changes policy, grow up, just change the policy.